Halo teman-teman, selamat malam. Welcome back to lesson 3. So in this section, we're going to be doing 3.2, going into using numbers. Ooh, the construction's loud. And shopping. Apologize if you guys can't hear me, but doing the best I can. If you don't have your numbers down yet, go back to 3.1. Make sure that you're comfortable using numbers before you go into this next section. It's very, very important that you have a good foundation before you start trying to shop. All right, so we're going to start off with a cultural note, and we're going to talk a little bit about money. So uang or duit in Bahasa Indonesia. So these are 3 Indonesian banknotes. They're older, but they still are frequently used. The largest denomination, the largest amount, is this one right here, 100.000, and it's worth about $6, $6.50 as of the exchange rate in 2024. So it's pretty weak in terms of a currency. This is 50.000. This is 1,000. Each banknote has Indonesian heroes or very important people within the country, men and women. This has Sukarno and Muhammad Hatta, the first president and vice president of Indonesia. This is a war hero, I Gusti Rai. He's from Bali. And then he is from Kalimantan. I forgot his name. But he is also a famous Indonesian from several hundred years ago. So these are 3 Indonesian banknotes. Each banknote has a different person, and in the last couple of years they've been updated, and they look very, very cool. And they're colorful. So Indonesia's currency is called the rupiah. It's different from India's rupee. The symbol of Indonesia's money is IDR. So if you're at an airport or you're at a bank and you see IDR, that is the Indonesian rupiah. And today, it's about 15 to 16,000 rupiah for $1. This is 2024. I'll actually look up the actual exchange rate right now, just so you can see. If you're exchanging money, it's a good idea to use something like Currency Pro right here. It's a pretty good app. And then for $1, let me pull this up. Indonesian rupiah, 15,684. So right there, 15,684 is the exchange rate. So it's quite weak. And if you want to get rupiah, the best place to do it is at a bank in Indonesia, obviously. If you're in Singapore or you're in Malaysia or in Thailand, you can also get it at banks there. You can also get it in Korea. If you go to KB Bank, the worst place to get Indonesian rupiah is at the Travelex counters. So if it's some private company that has a foreign exchange counter, generally they are not going to give you a good rate. Make sure you check the rate before you actually get the currency and before you make a transaction with them. And in Indonesia, a lot of places are going cashless. So you can use a credit card or you can use a stored value card like a Wise card. If you go down there, it's very nice to where you don't have to pull out a bunch of cash and you can just use a card and keep track of your spending easier. And you don't have to worry about like losing money or getting ripped off if you do have to exchange money somewhere. So that's what I would do. So this section is going to go more into some vocabulary, and vocabulary is very important for a language. It's like having bricks when you build a house. The less bricks that you have, the smaller your house is going to be, and generally the weaker it's going to be also. So some of the most important words in Indonesian are right here on this screen. And we're going to start off with ada. So ada means to exist or to have something available. So here are 2 example sentences right here. Ada banyak sepeda motor di cafe. Ada, exists, banyak, a lot, sepeda motor, motorbike, di cafe. There are a lot of motorbikes at or in the cafe. I don't know, it could be a cafe with motorcycles inside, or there could be at the cafe. We don't really know from the context. And then we also have this sentence right here. So to have available. So, Ibu, apakah ada sambal tidak? Nasi ini tidak pedas. So the most important word I want you to get out of this sentence right here is ada. So apakah ada is how you ask a question. We haven't really gotten into this that much, but apakah ada is asking a question. ada sambal, asking, is there or do you have any sambal? So do you have any hot sauce? What you're asking with this question. And then now going into these two adverbs. Remember, Indonesian does not have verb tenses. You show when things happen or how things happen based on adverbs. So these two, masih and lagi. So masih means something is still there or it is remaining. So masih ada kerjaan lagi. So there's still work to be done. There's still something that we have to finish. And then lagi is saying more or again. Suka pedas? Tambah sambal lagi. So sambal, spicy sauce. Tambah lagi. Tambah lagi. Tambah lagi. Add more and more and more and more. Okay? And then the last one we have D right here. D. So D is kind of a catch-all preposition, and it means in, on, or at. And it's very confusing sometimes, but generally you can tell based on the context. So, for example, aku suka minum kopi di mobil. I like to drink coffee in my car. Ibu simpan makan siang saya di meja. So, ibu simpan makan siang saya di meja. So, ibu simpan, put or kept makan siang, saya di meja, place where you eat, meja, the table. And then last, Mas Gugun belajar di sekolah. Mas Gugun belajar di sekolah. So di sekolah is at school. It's kind of the action word here of where something is or kind of where. All right, so we're going to do some review and we're going to practice using ada. So it's our new vocabulary word. We're going to do some practice. We wake up in the morning. Selamat pagi. Aduh, kuota flash Anda telah habis. Tidak ada pulsa. Sekarang tidak ada pulsa. So, kita membeli pulsa di warung. Ayo beli pulsa. So, kita sedang di warung nasi. Okay? Kita di warung nasi. Di sini sedia pulsa. Sedia pulsa. Ada pulsa di sini. Sedia pulsa. Ada pulsa. Okay? So, how do we greet ibu? Kita di warung nasi. And it's morning. Here's a clue. How do we greet ibu? Selamat pagi ibu. Selamat pagi, makan apa? So, does ibu want to sell us pulsa? Or does she want to sell us something else? She wants to sell us food, right? She wants to sell us makanan. But we aren't going to eat yet because we need pulsa. So, what can we say? Lots of things, lots of different answers. But one we could say would be minta pulsa, right? Minta pulsa. Minta pulsa dulu, ibu. So dulu means before or just before. So beli pulsa, minta pulsa dulu, ibu. Then later, nanti, makan. Oh ya? Mau berapa? Mau berapa? Remember, berapa is for a number. So, mau ini. Berapa nomor ini? Berapa? Kita mau 15,000. Right? Okay. Nomor HP berapa? Nomor HP berapa? Nah, nomor HP di sini. how do we say this number right here in Indonesian? So let's start with these 4. So ini, 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 ini. Betul? Right? 0803, 0007, 1212. 0803, 0007, 1212. Sip. Sudah. Sudah, remember, means finished or done. So she sent pulsa to our phone. Now we should say thank you to Ibu, right? Thank you, Ibu. How do we say thank you in Bahasa Indonesia? Terima kasih, right? Terima kasih, Ibu. Sama-sama, ongkosnya 17,000. 17,000. So, kita membeli pulsa harga 15,000. Kita bayar ibu 17,000. But we only have this much. Berapa ini? Berapa ini? Ini 50,000, right? So we need to ask her for change. This is something we've not really covered yet, but I'll help you out. So kita punya 50,000, and we need to ask her using these 3 words. These 3 words is a way to ask for change. So what is going to be the first word? And take a guess. It has a big letter. So you can probably figure it out. And then if you're not sure about the word order, go back to the slide before with ada, with this right here. So we would say, apakah ada uang kembali? So apakah, remember, means question. Ada, is there, or does it exist? Uang kembali. Uang is money. Kembali is return. Do you have money you can return me? Do you have change? Ada, mau makan. So Ibu's hustling. Ibu's like, hey, you guys gotta eat. You must be hungry. Harus makan juga. Dan membeli pulsa. Sama. Ya, mau. Okay, tunggu sebentar, ya. Tunggu. Wait, sebentar. Yeah. And most importantly, we have just bought pulsa. So this is a review. Tapi kita baru just recently membeli pulsa. All right, and then now we're going to go over this part of the slide, the shopping vocabulary. So we're going to go through these words over here. Please just repeat after me. So the first word is belanja, 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 and the stress is generally at the end of the sentence. Belanja, not belanja or belanja, belanja, like that. Okay, belanja. And then example, ibu saya suka belanja. Ibu saya suka belanja. So, ibu saya, my mom, suka belanja. Okay. Next we have harga. Harga. Harga means price. Harga ini. Then how much is this? 20,000 rupiah. Wow, ini harga teman. Harga teman. So we'll get into this in just a second. Next we have pas. So pas means something is fixed. Harga pas di Alfamart dan di Indomart dan di toko-toko seperti Hypermart dan di Grand Indonesia dan di BI, bukan di BIC, di PVJ, Van Jawa, have a fixed price generally. Some places, ada harga teman. Harga teman, teman means friend right here. Harga, price. So price, friend, is the same as a discount. Harga teman, discount. Okay. Harga pas means fixed price. It's the same price for everyone. Okay. Teman means friend. Teman kamu sudah makan. And then next we have ole-ole. Ole-ole is a souvenir. And if you visit Indonesia, you should buy ole-ole. So Indonesians, when you meet them, they're your friends. If you visit Bali or you visit Yogyakarta and you go back to Jakarta or Surabaya or somewhere else, they will always say, "Oh, Mister, ole-ole di mana? Ole-ole di mana? Where's the ole-ole for me? Where's my ole-ole?" And it's more about them trying to be, "Hey, I'm your friend and I really want to go to this place. I've never been. It would be really cool to have something from there because I've always heard about it, but I've never had the chance. So you could give me something, I'd be so happy." Okay? Usually I just smile and say, "Oh, ole-ole di sini, senyum, senyum. Aku senang, orang di sana, orang baik." So that's my ole-ole right here. Like, "Oh, okay, cool." The next we have ini. Discount. Discount is a discount. So, boleh saya minta discount? Remember, minta is to ask or request. Minta discount. And then ini means this. Itu is that. And then this word rawit is a chili pepper. So a very, very hot chili pepper. So, but this means hot, but spicy hot. Panas also means hot, but it is temperature hot. Okay? So, kopi ini panas, awas. Bisa pakai itu. Rawit ini pedas, awas. Bisa, boleh berbicara itu. Okay? And then these next two, uang and duit. Uang and duit. So they both mean money. Uang is more like cash money. Duit is just kind of the general catch-all for money. And then these last two, pasar is a bazaar or a market. It's a cognate similar to in English. And then kantong is a bag or a pocket. So there's a phrase in Indonesian, kantong kering, which means you don't have any money. Okay? That's all for the vocabulary for this part of this lesson. And then, so a little bit more about mau dan bisa. Okay? Mau dan bisa. So mau and bisa are very important verbs in Indonesian. Mau translates to want, or it shows intention to do something. So you want something, or you want to do something, or you will do something very soon in the future. Mau. Okay? It's kind of similar to this character, yao, in Chinese. Kind of similar to it. And then bisa translates to can. So it shows whether something can be done or cannot be done. And in Singapore, people will say, "Oh, can la. Like, yes, I can. It's okay." So in Indonesian, kind of like that. It's not exactly the same, but they use something similar in Chinese, kai, and basically it shows that, yes, you're able to do something. Okay? So all of these, mau and bisa, are used with greetings, asking questions, if you're making statements, you're talking to people, making requests, and also when you're shopping. So use them when you shop. When you're in a store, you can ask about a discount or ask about harga pas, harga teman. Always use mau and bisa. Okay, we're going to practice with that in just a second. All right, and then here's some examples with bisa, just so you have a better idea. Okay, so bisa and a verb. Bisa dengan kata kerja. Kata kerja is verb. So Gugun is the name of a person. Gugun bisa naik sepeda motor. Saya bisa masak bakso. Okay. So this is showing Bisa, remember, he can. Gugun can ride a sepeda motor. Saya bisa masak bakso. I am able to make, or I am able to cook bakso. Okay? With bole, bole shows, not potential, excuse me. Bole shows permission to do something. So it shows whether you're allowed or you have permission to do something. Right? So gugun boleh naik sepeda motor. Saya boleh masak bakso. So I am allowed to, I have permission to, Gugun has permission to ride the motorcycle. I have permission to make bakso. Okay. Bisa and bole. If you confuse them, it can be confusing for Indonesians, even though in English we can just say, oh, you can do this, meaning for both. You have to think about this more as can, and this is more like may. Okay? So that's a difference between these two. And then let's say you want to make it negative. How would we make this negative? All you have to do is just add tidak before bisa or bole. Tidak bisa or tidak bole. So gugun bisa naik, gugun tidak bisa naik. Alright? Saya bisa masak, saya tidak bisa masak. Okay? Gugun boleh naik, gugun tidak boleh naik. Saya boleh masak, saya tidak boleh masak. Okay? Very, very simple, very straightforward. Hope it makes sense. And then with mau, it's similar too. So mau can be used with a verb. So gugun mau nonton film. It would be more natural to say something like gugu mau nonton film tidak, or mau nonton film enggak. Or you could say something like saya mau makan mie ayam. Saya mau makan mie ayam. Mie ayam is a chicken dish. It's very, very delicious, chicken and noodles. You can also use mau with an object, with a noun. So mau kopi, mau discount. Okay? So bu mau kopi. You don't even have to say saya. You can just say mau kopi, and it's completely understood by you saying it mau kopi, that you want a coffee. Okay? If you just want to make it a question, mau kopi, just raise your voice a little bit. And then this one right here, Pak, saya mau discount, boleh? Saya mau discount, boleh? So you're asking, oh, can I please get a discount, sir? Please, I would like permission to get a discount. It's very polite. And then over here, mau and ka. So mau and ka shows where you are going to go, or where you plan to go, where you intend to go in the near future. So Dave, ibu saya mau ke pasar. Ibu saya mau ke pasar. Ibu mau ke pasar. Ibu mau berbelanja. Ia mau belanja. Okay? Dia mau ke Borobudur. Borobudur is a temple in Yogyakarta. It's a very, very cool place, and it's someplace you have to visit if you go to Indonesia. Mau ke, and then the place. Mau ke Indomar, mau ke Bali, mau ke Borobudur, mau ke Jakarta, all of these. You are going there, or you will go there. Okay? And then, just like before with bisa, to make it negative, all you have to do is add tidak before mau. So, gugun tidak mau nonton film. Gugun tidak mau. Dia tidak mau. Saya tidak mau makan mie ayam. Bu tidak mau kopi. Tidak mau. Sudah minum kopi 5 kali. Tidak mau kopi lagi. Okay? Saya tidak mau discount. Saya tidak mau harga teman. Saya mau bayar banyak duit. Mau bayar dengan banyak duit. Okay? Saya tidak mau ke pasar. Tidak mau ke pasar. Saya mau ke Indomaret. Saya tidak mau ke pasar. Dia tidak mau ke Borobudur. Dia mau ke Prambanan. Prambanan is a Hindu temple outside of Yogyakarta, and it's also very cool. So check out both of them if you visit. All right, so teman-teman, ayo belanja. Let's go shopping. And if you go shopping in Indonesia, in Jakarta or Surabaya or Jogja or Bali, you have all of the same stores that you've come to love. There's H&M, there's Zara, Foot Locker, you've got big sports stores like Sports Station. If you're trying to get any sort of like clothing, it's a very good place to go. Shoes are also quite reasonable. And if you are looking to get electronics, primarily like secondhand electronics or something that's not going to be like your primary, it's a good place to go. But those are the two things I would recommend getting. Clothing, a bag also, like a small backpack or a fanny pack, something like that. Bum bag would be awesome, or some cheaper electronics. So, sekarang kita di mall. So kita di mall. Okay? Di mall. Now, temanmu mau makan dan minum kopi dulu. Kopi dulu. So if you meet an Indonesian person, you can always say kopi dulu. And they'll, oh, awesome, yes, kopi dulu. So before you do anything, kopi. All right, so di mall, berapa lantai ada? Berapa? Ada satu lantai dasar, dua lantai satu, dan tiga lantai dua. Okay, it's kind of confusing sometimes because it'll say lantai dasar, it's kind of like the ground floor. Lantai satu is the one above, and then lantai dua is the one above that. So it's similar to the British or the Australian style, different than what we have in the States. So, di mana di mall ini ada restoran? Di mana ada restoran? Di mana? So you are here, kamu sekarang di lantai dasar. So ada restoran? Ada, ya, ada restoran di lantai dasar. Tapi ada di lantai dasar sama lantai satu sama lantai dua. So ada makanan, ada restoran di semua lantai. Okay? So ada restoran di mana saja di mall di Indonesia. Karena orang-orang di Indonesia suka makan terus. Always want to eat. If you don't remember these two words, makanan and minuman, right here, go back to lesson number 1 and review them because they're very, very important. They're keywords in Indonesian. Okay? So, how could we say this to our friend? Let's try to put a sentence together. So our first word is going to be what? Ada, right? So ada, there exists or there is restoran di lantai mana? Ada di lantai dasar, restoran, dan ada juga di lantai satu dan lantai dua, right? Sorry if I'm going slow, but I want you guys to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on, and I don't want to blow through this. Temanmu, your friend is saying, okay, ayo makan di lantai satu. So, lantai satu. So, mau ke atas. Mau ke atas ke lantai satu. Okay. Di lantai satu ada makanan Jepang. Makanan Jepang. Orang Indonesia suka makan makanan Jepang. Teman, kamu mau ke lantai berapa? Yang mana? Mau ke sini, ya? Mau ke lantai satu. So, ayo makan. Ini makanan Jepang. Makanan Jepang. friend, temanmu, mau bertanyaan kamu. So, using these words, let's try to make a sentence. So, first word is going to be either bisa or boleh, right? And then they're asking you about this word, sumpit. Sumpit is this thing, chopsticks. So if your friend is asking you a question about this, chopsticks, what are they asking? Bisa or boleh? What do you think? And this right here, you can probably guess, is our main verb. Bisa pakai sumpit. So pakai means to use. Bisa pakai sumpit. So this is the sumpit. And then what are you going to say back to your friend? Bisa pakai? Bisakah kamu pakai sumpit? It's probably more natural. You're going to say mau, boleh, or bisa. Bisa, right? Bisa. Yes, I can use sumpit. I can use chopsticks. And then what are you going to say? Right before you eat, foods come, what are you going to say? It's a very, very important phrase in Indonesian. Selamat makan, right? Selamat makan. And then friend is, super happy. Yes, senang sekali. Okay? So, here's a cultural note about Indonesia and Indonesian food. Bisa makan pedas. Pedas. So we went over this word a little bit ago. Didn't really teach it, but went over it and mentioned it. Pedas means right here. Spicy. Okay. Orang Indonesia suka makan pedas. Most food in Indonesia is very spicy. And if you need proof, well, I'll show you right here.
3, 2, and 1, makan. Oh shit.
Holy fuck.
Number 2. Fuck.
This is not okay.
So, not my proudest moment, not the happiest morning I had the next day, but if you try to impress Indonesians and eat a bunch of chili peppers, it's probably not going to work. They'll just kind of look at you and think you're nuts. Probably like you did watching this video. So, if you want to impress the locals, they'll be happy if you try spicy food, but you're always better off use Bahasa Indonesia. So speak a little bit of Bahasa Indonesia and you will really, really impress them a lot. Remember, all of the negatives in Indonesian are very easy. So if somebody offers you something spicy and you don't, or you can't, or you're not allowed to eat it, all you have to say, tidak bisa, means I can't, tidak bisa. Tidak boleh, means I am not allowed to. Doctor said no. Tidak mau, means I'm good. I don't want to eat it. That's it. You don't want to eat spicy food. Tidak bisa makan pedas. Tidak boleh makan pedas. Or tidak mau makan pedas. No spicy food for me. And then, if you want to make a question, make it a real clear question, you can add ka to the end. Bisakah or bolehkah. It's like asking question at the end. Bisakah, bisakah, bisakah. You kind of notice my voice rises up a little bit. Bisakah, bisakah. So, ini teman saya, nama dia Evi. Okay. Sekarang itu jam 5 pagi. Jam 5 pagi. Okay. So, bisakah, Dave bangun pagi. Bangun means wake up. Bangun pagi. Bisakah. And then, how am I going to answer this? Bisakah? Am I going to say bisa, boleh, or bisakah? Which one? I am answering the question. So someone asks me, bisakah? I am just going to answer, bisa. I can. Bisa. Baik. Dave mau makan surabi. Surabi. Surabi is a traditional Indonesian breakfast food. It's absolutely delicious. And if you go to a village or you're in a city and you go to a locals area, you can find surabi. You have to try it. It's very, very good. They have some that are spicy. They have some that are not spicy. Get the non-spicy ones. I think they taste better personally. But if somebody asks you, bisa makan atau mau makan surabi, what are you going to say? Mau, right? Yeah, saya mau. Or you can say tidak mau. Saya tidak mau. Tidak mau makan surabi. And that's perfectly fine too. Don't force yourself to do something you don't want to do. Most important. Okay. Ayo makan sama-sama di warung. Makan sama-sama. We eat together di warung. Ayo, let's go. Okay. So, pagi Bu Evie is going to order the surabi. She wants one regular and one spicy. So, how would she order the surabi? All right. This is maybe a little bit harder, so there's a lot more words. So, we can start, and the key here is one regular and one spicy. So, how do you say one? One is satu, right? So, satu, and then regular is biasa. So satu biasa, one spicy. One is satu, and spicy is pedas, right? Satu pedas, satu biasa. Okay? So now you have to put the rest of this together. What else would we say? So, saya, right? And then what else? How would we order something? We'd say minta. So you can say saya minta surabi satu biasa. That's perfectly fine. Or saya minta surabi satu pedas. Perfectly fine. We're going to add a little bit more to this to make it a little bit more clear. Saya minta satu surabi biasa dan satu surabi pedas. That's it. That's all you have to say. But you can just say saya minta satu surabi and that'll work, but you should try to specify whether pedas or biasa. Okay. Dave. Now, she's going to ask me a question. So if she's asking me about food, she's going to ask me about the object, right? The thing. So going to probably ask me about apa, and then what else? If somebody asks you a general question in Indonesian about wanting to eat something, how would you fill this in? Mau makan apa, right? Dave mau makan apa? Dave eat what? What do you want to eat? And then Dave wants the same food as Evie. So, the same. The key word here is just sama. That's it, sama. So if you just say, oh, mau makan sama, or minta sama, Totally fine. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to do a full sentence, you can say, saya mau makan sama Evie. Boom. That's it. And then one more. So what would I say? I want the same. So ibu. So saya minta satu surabi biasa dan satu pedas. Ibu, saya minta satu surabi biasa dan satu pedas. Saya minta, I would like, or I want, satu surabi, one surabi, biasa, normal, and one spicy. Okay, sebentar, yeah? Boom, that's it. All right, so now we're done eating, and Evie said, "Bu, bon, bon." So what does bon mean again? What does this word mean, bon? If you aren't sure, here's a really quick quiz. So, more food? Does it mean a bill? Does it mean a drink? Or we're living on a prayer and we're halfway there? Which one for bon? So, bon means the bill. So, bu, bon, bu, ma'am, please give me the bill. Okay, 15,000. So you're going to hear the number in Indonesian, 15,000. How much is that bill? How much is it? For 4 surabi. And this was the actual price. Is it ini, 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 ini? So the price is this one, ini, 15,000. 15,000 for 4 surabi. So for breakfast, under $1 for 2 people, can't beat it. It's an awesome deal. And now we've got a cultural note coming at you. So for this cultural note right here, we're going to talk about paying the bill at a restaurant. So in Indonesia, there is kind of a dance, I guess, of how you pay for a bill. If you are with a local friend in Indonesia, then your friend is going to want to pay the bill for you. So your Indonesian friend could be your host mom, could be somebody that you hung out with, that you met on the street, you're having a coffee. They will likely want to pay the bill for you because you are a guest in their country. All right? If you're out on a date with somebody, it's generally different. But if you're out just meeting somebody on the street randomly, they will they will try to offer to pay the bill for you. So one of the worst things that you can do is to just say, okay, bayar, silakan. You should use your Bahasa Indonesia and say back to them, oh, saya mau bayar, I want to pay. Because if you just let them pay and you don't try to fight for it, then it shows that, oh, you don't really care. You try to put up a little bit of a fight. There's a little bit of give and take that kind of goes on in Indonesia and in Indonesian culture. And if you have an ole ole from your hometown, and you give them an ole ole, then it really makes a big difference where it's like, oh, okay, I bought you something and you gave me something. In terms of a value, your ole ole is probably going to cost more, but don't look at it in terms of a numerical value. Look at it in terms of your relationship. You have a new relationship with somebody, and your relationship is going to be stronger because you both have invested into it. If you know this, and if you do this while you're over there, you're set. You're going to make a lot of friends, and you're going to have a wonderful trip in Indonesia. All right, so we're going back to our story right now. So, harga surabi 15,000, right? So 15,000. But Dave wants to pay. He wants to pay the bill. So what is he going to say? I want to pay. I want, and this is the key word right here, want. So saya mau, I want, bayar, pay, bon. Saya mau bayar bon. And then what is Evie going to say? If I want to pay the bill, but I'm in Indonesia and she's going, you're not doing it. Nope. What's she going to say? So she's going to say, tidak boleh. You're not allowed. You can't pay the bill. Because you're in Indonesia and you're a guest and you're my friend. So I will pay the bill. And then try again. Just try it again and go, saya mau bayar. And then tidak. So you kind of have this dance of, I want to pay. No, you can't pay. Oh, but I really want to pay. No, you can't pay. Oh, I really, really want to pay. No, I'm not paying. And they'll just take the bill and go pay it. And it's like, okay. It's just kind of what you do. It's different and it's strange for us in the West, but it's how people will generally do things in Indonesia. Okay, so she's going to pay the bill. And then after your friend pays, then what do you say? Terima kasih, right? Thank you. And then this emoji right here, hands pressed together, remember is thank you in Indonesian. Can also be forgive me, but it also means thank you. So most commonly you see it for thank you. And then, you're welcome. How would you say that? Sama-sama. Boom. All right, so now we're going to go a little bit off the beaten path, and we're going to jump into some of the local languages in Indonesia. Okay, the local languages. So these are not Bahasa Indonesia. These are the local native languages in Indonesia. So Indonesia has hundreds of these languages, and they are not mutually intelligible. So imagine you have a person from Turkey speaking Turkish, and you have a British person or a person from Scotland speaking Scottish. They're not going to understand each other. So they have a language between them, Bahasa Indonesia, that they both study in school, so they can both communicate. It's kind of how Indonesian works. It brings all of the languages and all of the people together under one language so everybody can talk and communicate with each other. On Java, there are 5 main languages, and they're all mostly completely different from each other. So you have Bahasa Betawi, Bahasa Sunda, Bahasa Jawa, Bahasa Madura, and Bahasa Cirebon. So these are the 5 main languages on Java, on one island. And some people speak multiple. There might be someone who is from Cirebon who has one parent from Java, who's Javanese, one person who's Sunda, and they maybe speak a mix of both of them together. And Bahasa Indonesia, some people will only speak Bahasa Madura. They're Maduris. Generally, they only speak Bahasa Madura, maybe some basic Javanese. But it's not common for people who are from like Surabaya to speak Bahasa Sunda, because it's primarily Javanese over there. So if you're speaking with someone from a different ethnic group, you primarily use Bahasa Indonesia. And then in West Java, people will speak Sundanese primarily. In Central Java and East Java, people will speak Javanese, and there are different dialects of Javanese. So if you look at the languages right here, so in Indonesian, terima kasih, we learn that, and sama-sama are the 2 base. So thank you and you're welcome. In Sundanese, matur nuwun, sami-sami. In Javanese, hatur nuhun, sami-sami. In Balinese, suksuma, suksuma Malawi. And then in Lombok, matur tampiasi. So I've never actually heard Bahasa Sasak, and I don't know if I'm saying that right. But there are so many of these languages. If someone were to say matur tampiasi, and someone were to say matur nuwun, they go, oh, that's Sundanese, or oh, that's Bahasa Sasak, but I can't have a conversation with you because the language is completely different. So we'll speak Bahasa Indonesia. Okay? If you say these 2 phrases and you learn nothing else in these languages, you are set. You are like a human god because the locals will be so happy. So if you go to, say, West Java, you go to Bandung, speak these two words of Sundanese, matur nuwun, sami-sami. Awesome. If you go to Yogyakarta, hatur nuhun, sami-sami. Awesome. If you go to Ubud and you speak with the local Balinese, suksuma, suksuma Malawi. You go to Lombok, matur tampiasi. You're totally set. That's it. All right, and so now we're going to go more into this. Talked a little bit about it a second ago with ka. So bisakah and apakah. So this suffix, ka. First, we got a pop quiz. So organize the following sentence using the words below. He can use chopsticks. He can use chopsticks. How would you say this? He can use chopsticks. If you aren't sure, then you can pause it and go back, or you can use maybe Google Translate, but I would not recommend doing that. I would try it first instead of just jumping into that. That's not a good habit to have. Dia bisa pakai sumpit. Dia bisa pakai sumpit. Okay, dia, he, bisa, able, pakai, use, sumpit, chopsticks. Okay, what about this? She wants to go shopping. She wants to go shopping. And if you aren't sure, you can pause it, think about it, and then give it a go using these words. Dia mau belanja. Dia mau pergi belanja. Dia mau ke pasar. Dia mau ke Indomaret. Dia mau ke Grand Indonesia. All of these. It's pretty much the same meaning. It's not exactly the same, but it's totally fine. Mau ke shopping place. Dia mau belanja. It's just basic. She wants to shop. Okay. Next. Shalise likes riding scooters. She likes riding scooters. So Shalise, she likes to ride scooter. All right, this one. Shalise suka naik sepeda motor. Sepeda motor, scooter, Shalise, her name, suka, like, naik, to ride. Okay, next. Which does not belong in the sentence? Albert masih minum kerja satu gelas teh di warung. Which word does not belong? So there's one word in here that does not belong. It is kerja. Albert masih minum satu gelas teh di warung. So kerja means work. Albert masih minum satu gelas teh di warung. Okay, what does the sentence mean? Albert is still having his cup of tea or his glass of tea at the warung. He's just masih minum pelan-pelan, slowly nursing it. He doesn't want to go to work. I don't blame him. Good for you, Albert. Okay, number 5. Ibu minta mau maaf, tidak ada duit. Ibu minta mau maaf, tidak ada duit. So, maaf, in case you forgot, is sorry. All right. So, apologize or sorry. Ibu minta mau maaf, tidak ada duit. The extra word is mau, right? Minta maaf, ibu minta maaf, tidak ada duit. Now, what does the sentence mean? Tidak ada. Tidak ada. Means, I don't have any money. I am broke. This sucks. What it means. Next, similar. Saya bisa beli pulsa berapa di Indomaret? Boleh. Okay, this one's a little bit harder. Saya bisa beli pulsa berapa di Indomaret? Boleh. So this one, we would chop off boleh. And it would be more natural. It would be better to use bisakah. But saya bisa beli pulsa berapa di Indomaret? Like, how much pulsa can I buy at Indomaret? All right. And then next one was a mistake. Minta maaf ya. Sorry. If you got 5 or 6, then well done. You're getting it. And if you got just a couple of them, go back through, practice making sentences with the words. Write down the vocabulary, make sentences, put them into Google Translate, or better yet, get on a forum, like get on Reddit, Indonesia, or Bahasa Indonesia, or get on Hello Native or something and practice using the language. Find people to practice with. It'll make your language skills so much better, so much faster. All right, so now we are going to go into Bisakah and apakah, right? So ka is a question maker, and it turns the word before it into a question word. So it's very, very polite, and it's a very good word to use if you're talking with other people. So dengan teman-teman, dengan ibu-ibu, dan dengan bapak-bapak. Okay? So remember, bisa is like saying can. You can raise your voice, bisa. That's okay, but it's a little bit rough. You're better off and you're speaking much more clear if you add ka to the end. Bisakah, right? So apa means what? Apakah is the polite question maker. So generally a sentence that has a question will start with apakah. So it's like question and then blah, 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 blah. You can also use this for boleh, bolehkah, but you do not use it for mau. Maukah? I've never heard that, and I don't think that's correct. So boleh, made for permission. Bolehkah is asking for permission to do something. Okay? And when you raise a question, or when you ask a question, your voice should just rise a little bit at the end, just like in English. That's it. Not hard. Just one little sentence, or one little suffix, and it should completely change your sentence. So here's another thing about Indonesian that's a little bit maybe strange, is generally people will talk in the third person. So it can be a little bit strange if you're talking to someone, instead of saying kamu or anda, you will just say either the person's name or you'll talk about them in the third person. It's more indirect and it's more polite. And if you screw this up, don't worry about it. But sometimes people will talk about you and they will call you either mister or miss. They're using the third person when they do that instead of saying your name. Okay? So, for example, Aan, my host brother, Aan, bisakah sasa bicara bahasa Inggris? Bisakah Sasa, his daughter, bicara bahasa Inggris? Sasa, bisa bahasa Inggris? He's going to ask her. Belum, not yet, belum. And then Ayu, my host sister, bisakah ade bicara bahasa Inggris? So ini yang ade, the baby of the family, ade. Ade, bisa bahasa Inggris? Ia mau tidur. He's sleeping. Not gonna answer it. Belum. So remember, belum means not yet, and belum can also mean no. All right, so here's an example conversation, and they're still doing construction next door. So hopefully you guys can hear everything okay. So ini temanku, teman saya, and this is from Yogyakarta. So, apakah Dave suka mainan klasik? Mainan klasik. Remember, main is play, and then an right here is a thing, plaything. Like makan, makanan is food. Minum, minuman is a drink. Main, mainan is a toy. Mainan klasik. Star Wars, dan Lego, dan Nintendo. Ya, saya suka Lego. Ada kafe di Yogyakarta. Di kafe ada mainan Star Wars, dan Lego, dan Marvel. Wah, mantap. Awesome, right? Ayo lihat. Let's go check it out. So, let's review a little bit of grammar and some of the vocabulary first from this section. So remember, ada means there is, or there are, or it exists, right? So ada kartu SIM. So there is a SIM card, or SIM cards are available for sale, or SIM cards exist, any of those. All right. Ada kartu SIM can mean there are SIM cards available for sale, or I've got a SIM card in my phone. Either one of those. Okay. Tidak ada means there is not, or it does not exist. So tidak ada kopi means there's no coffee here, or we don't sell, or we don't serve coffee. Okay? Tidak ada. And then apakah ada is asking a question. Is there? Are there? Does something exist? Apakah ada nasi? Apakah ada nasi? Means something like, do you have food? Do they have meals? Is there food available? All of those could be an answer to this question. Remember, it's all contextual. It makes Indonesian a little bit challenging because it's not going to be completely straightforward. You've got to think about it a little bit and understand the situation and read the room when you're using the language. All right, so now we have a cool activity. All right, so you guys are probably wondering what the heck this is. If toys could talk, what would they say? And this is in Yogyakarta at the cafe with the toy museum. Mas, 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 mas. Master Yoda is summoning me. So something datang ke sini. What is he asking me? Apakah datang ke sini? Bisakah datang ke sini? Atau mau datang ke sini? You could use mau, that would maybe be right, but there's one that's maybe a little bit better. Bisakah, right? Bisakah datang ke sini? Now, hey master, what's up? And then he's going to ask me something. What's he going to ask? Apakah ada makanan di sini? Apakah ada makanan di sini? Remember, apakah ada? Question. Is there makanan di sini? Lapar, lapar. Lapar, remember, I'm hungry. I'm super hungry. Kami juga. All of the other toys as well. They're all really, really hungry. And then Bumblebee's down below, and he's like, hey, master. Bolehkah, apakah, bisakah, bisa or minta. Pakai, use the force. What's he saying to Master Yoda? Bisakah pakai the force? And then Yoda, unfortunately, Yoda, unfortunately, he's got to answer with a sad expression. Tidak bisa, right? I can't. Tidak bisa. Oh, saya plastik. Oh, all the other toys are really sad too, right? That sucks. So in Indonesia, middle-class Indonesians, similar to middle-class people in the States or in Europe, they love comic books and they love superheroes. And it can be a nerdy thing, it can not be a nerdy thing. Kind of just, a lot of people are in love with this kind of stuff. So they grow up with Nickelodeon, Disney, DC, pop music, Pokemon, Star Wars, all of the same shows that you probably grew up with. If they're middle class or more wealthy, then they are into the same things as well. So when you make friends with locals, you can ask them about their childhood, ask them about what they like to do when they were younger. So waktu anak kecil, waktu is time, anak kecil is like a small child when you were a kid. waktu teenager, when you were a teenager. You can say waktu teenager, kamu suka Disney, atau waktu anak kecil, kamu suka Nickelodeon. All of those are totally fine. Most of the movies in Indonesia, they have Marvel, Disney, it's usually in English, and then they'll have Indonesian subtitles. Sometimes it's in Indonesian, but say a lot of them now are more English with Indonesian subs, which if you're learning Indonesian, it's awesome because you can see, okay, this is English, and then this is how they would translate it in Indonesia. So it can give you some really, really good and cool opportunities to practice your language. And then now we're going to do more about shopping, but we're going to dive into adjectives in Indonesian. Okay, adjectives. So Indonesian adjectives are not difficult. If you've studied Spanish before, it's going to be quite easy. If you have not, and this is the first foreign language you've studied, it might be a little bit of a challenge because there are some differences. So if we look at an English sentence, my neighbor has a big red truck, right? This is our example sentence. My neighbor has a big red truck. These are our adjectives, big, red, and truck. In Indonesian, it's opposite. Truk, merah, besar. So truck, truk, big, besar, merah is red. So the word order of adjectives is opposite to English. It's a little bit confusing and it takes some practice, but you write everything out in English first, and then you just reverse engineer it and put it in Indonesian. You have nothing to worry about. Okay? Take some practice, but after a couple of days of doing this, you will have it down pat. And now we're going to dive into some of these adjectives. So ukuran means size. And then all of these adjectives right here are related to size. So besar means big, kecil, small, panjang, long, pendek, short, and then pas means on point or good fitting. And you might remember pas like harga pas. So you have harga pas, you also have pas in terms of clothing. So it can be fitting well or it can be not fitting well. All right, itu pas, itu tidak pas. For prices, for harga, mahal, expensive, murah is cheap, and pas means fair or fixed. So it's good fitting, it's on point, it's right, it's correct. Pas. And then now we have colors. So warna. Biru is blue, hijau is green, oranye, orange, ungu, purple, kuning, which means yellow or gold, hitam, black, merah, red, putih, white, and coklat, which means brown. So these are basic colors, some basic words about shopping, and some basic sizes. So now let's go to the pasar and try them out. All right, so I had made a mistake in this one and I fixed it. So we're gonna do some practice with adjectives. So how would you say a blue t-shirt? Blue t-shirt. So remember, word order is opposite when you're talking about objects and adjectives in Indonesian. So first we have to have our noun, t-shirt. So t-shirt is kaos, right? And then we have our color. So what is next? Hijau, oranye, ungu, biru. That's it. So blue t-shirt, also a blue jersey, like a football jersey, soccer jersey, kaos biru. Okay. How would you say big shoes? So big shoes. Remember, in Indonesian, plural is sometimes just understood through context. So how would you say big shoes? Sepatu besar, right? Sepatu, shoes, besar, big. Or you can say sepatu ukuran besar. You can say that also if you want to. For the other one, you could also say kaos warna biru atau kaos yang biru. Yang is like saying the one that is or the one which is, but just the noun and the adjective after, perfectly fine. You'll be understood. How would you say long purple pants? Long purple pants. So we have to have our noun, right? What's our noun? Okay, celana, right? Purple, and then long. Celana ungu panjang. All right, long purple pants. And then how would you say blue jeans and a black shirt? And don't worry, jeans is exactly the same word. Everyone just says jeans. So blue jeans, how would you say that? Blue jeans. So jeans, biru, right? And dan is and, black shirt. Shirt, black, kaos hitam. All right, so now we're gonna go full immersion. I'm gonna take you guys through a pasar in Bandung. So that's part of Bandung in Indonesia, right? Apakah ada warna apa di video ini? So feel free, stop the video a couple of times as you watch. Apakah ada warna apa? What colors do you see? One more time, satu kali lagi. Warna apa? Coklat, kuning, merah, putih, ada buah-buahan oranye, tapi jeruk is the word for orange, the fruit. Ada hijau, green, hitam, ada banyak warna, yeah? Lots of colors. So, practice when you see things in your daily life, doesn't matter what it is, think about it in Indonesia and go, oh, what color is that? Itu warna apa? Itu warna apa? Okay? Best way to practice. Dan apakah baju bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu pakai di video? Apakah baju pakai? Bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu pakai baju apa? So, pakai kaos ya, dan celana, dan sepatu, dan dastar. Juga, we did not learn that yet. Dastar, use that. So dress or skirt. Gaun is dress. And then, what else? Maybe a hat, topi, some other things too. Okay. So now we're gonna go shopping. All right, ayo belanja. So we're walking through the pasar right now in Bandung. Hello, miss. Remember, sometimes people will greet you. They will say miss, even if you're a man, or they will say mister if you are a woman. They're trying to be polite, but their English is not very good. So this guy probably thinks you don't speak any Bahasa Indonesia, right? It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and just smile and give him a kind greeting. So what are you going to say? What are you going to say to this guy? You're in Indonesia, walking around in the market. Mau berbicara apa? Selamat pagi, Pak, right? Selamat pagi. So you're just walking by the market. People are always going to be, hello, mister, miss. Just smile, halo, selamat pagi, and keep walking. And, aduh, you speak Indonesian. They're so shocked and so excited. So, wah, keren. Mau kemana? Remember, mau kemana? This is one of your phrases you're going to hear every single day. Mau kemana? You're just going for a walk. You're walking around. So what are you going to say? Walking around. Do you remember? There's just one key word. You just repeat the word twice. You can say jalan-jalan or saya mau jalan-jalan. Oh, jalan-jalan. Wow, he's excited. You're having a conversation with him in Indonesian. You're talking to him in Indonesian. He's going to be so happy and so excited and be shocked that you're talking to him in Bahasa Indonesia. All right. Now this guy, he's shocked. Dari mana? Dari mana? So remember, dari mana, you can say your country, you can say your city, you can say your hotel if you want to. Probably not the best idea. Dari Indomaret, your choice, whatever you want to say. Dari mana? So we're just going to say here, dari Inggris. Yeah, dari Inggris. Remember, Inggris is England. It also means the English language. So dari Inggris, from England. Oh, Inggris. So now, in real life, you can keep talking as long as you want. This guy will talk to you probably for 20 minutes if you want to. You just got to keep going. If you're out shopping or you're doing something, you can just smile and keep going. And of course, Bapak knows that you can't stay here forever. You have to go. So, hati-hati ya. Somebody says hati-hati. And then now, you just got to wish him a wonderful day. Say thank you. And off you go. So what are you going to say? Terima kasih. Thank you. Hati-hati Pak. Sama-sama. He's really excited. And there you go. Well done. Okay, now let's keep on walking. So now we're at the shop. All right, here we go. Hello, mister. And again, he might be talking to you and say mister because he knows it's the right word, or he might just say it because you're a foreigner and he's not sure whether to use mister or miss. People mix that up. You just have to be patient with them. Mau beli apa? Mau beli apa? Now you're in Bandung. You finally found what you're looking for. You're looking for Bali wear. So baju Bali. Okay? What are you going to wear in Bali? How would you say shorts? So shorts are short pants. So you don't remember, you can go back a couple of slides. Pants and short. So pants, short is shorts in Bahasa Indonesia. If you aren't sure, boom, here you go. How would you say shorts? So celana and pendek, right? Celana pendek. So now, I want to buy short pants is literally what you're going to say. What would you say? Saya mau beli celana pendek. Saya mau beli celana pendek. Right? Warna apa? Warna apa? So remember, warna is color. Now, just got to pick your favorites. Saya mau warna hijau. Saya mau warna merah. Saya mau warna putih. Saya mau biru. Any of them. As long as you get the color right, you're totally good to go. You're totally good. Celana pendek ini. So yang ini. Ini, this one. And then yeah, those are good enough. Itu cukup. Cukup. Those work. They're good. Yeah, but now you've got to get the price. So how are you going to ask him for the price? But something. But harga berapa? Remember, harga berapa? Harga, price, and berapa is how much. So the price is how much, sir? Wah, 15,000 satu. 15,000 satu. So 15,000, remember, 15,000 satu, one. So how much is this in English? I just gave you the answer. 15,000. So 15,000, it's less than a whole dollar. So these really are, if you buy them in a market, generally about 15,000, 20,000. They're very, very inexpensive. And that just shows you as well how much money this guy's making, how much money the guy in the factory is making, how much money the guy driving the truck is making. There's not a lot of money going between each person. So just shows you that the local price is generally very, very low. So he offered you 15,000 and you'll take it. Okay. And you have the exact change. So di sini 15,000 Pak, di sini here 15,000. Here's 15,000 rupiah. Atau ada 15,000. Or saya punya 15,000. All of those are perfectly fine. Okay, terima kasih. He's happy. He made a sale. Now he can go buy some breakfast. Or he can buy something for his son or his daughter or his wife. And he's a happy guy. Now, reply back. What are you going to say? Terima kasih. Sama-sama. Sama-sama, Pak. Or you can say sami-sami if you're in Java. So Javanese, sami-sami. Sundanese, sami-sami also. Both of them are perfectly fine. And he'll be really happy if you say that. All right, here's another example conversation. This one's going to be in Bali, okay? We are in Bali. So, siang Pak, harga berapa sandal? So, what are we buying here? Sandal, you can probably take a guess. Sandal. This, ini. Sandal mana? Now, if you want to be specific, you can say the product and the brand or the product and the color, okay? So you can say sandal Birkenstock, sandal Crocs, Crocs yang biru, Crocs hitam, Crocs merah. All of those are perfectly fine. Just the color and the brand name, or you don't know, you can just say ini and point. That works perfectly fine too. Okay, so Crocs hitam, something like that. And here, some more shopping vocabulary. So be sure, write these down. These are really important words, especially if you're planning to go shopping a lot. And it will be very, very helpful for you. So, Crocs hijau, Crocs hitam, sandal putih. That's basically it. So, yang ini harga berapa itu? Itu 300,000, right? Kualitas bagus. Qualitas looks like what word in English? Qualitas. I gave it away. Quality. So quality and bagus, remember, is your adjective, so it's going to come after. So good quality. It's good quality. It's worth buying. It's an excellent item. Guy is really trying to push it with the basic Bahasa Indonesia. All right, so here's another cultural note on bartering in Indonesia. Okay, so how do you barter? Here are 5 tips to help you barter, to do it culturally sensitively, and to get a good deal. So stop in a couple of times and talk to the seller and actually look at the item before you buy it. So try to do something where the seller will remember you. So go in, talk to them in Bahasa Indonesia, smile, be polite, and do something where they're going to remember you. So you don't have to go and do something crazy, just go and talk to them for 30 seconds to a minute. That's all you have to do. And then start with the price less than the lowest price of what you'll pay. So start with the lower price. Because if you go in there and you say, okay, I will give him a higher price, he's not going to budge. You're going to be able to move up in price a little bit and give him a lower price of what you expect than what you expect to pay. Okay? Because he's probably not going to accept it and you're going to have to pay more than what you intend. If you buy most of your stuff from one store or one shop, then you'll be able to save a little bit of rupiah because you'll buy more of the guy's inventory. So you don't have to buy all of it, but if you see a couple of souvenirs that you want, generally they will be a little bit more flexible in dealing with you. And then if you see something and he tries to offer you something that you don't like, maybe it's not painted well, or maybe the quality is not good, or it's been sitting out in the sun, don't say, oh, it's not good. point out positive points and say, oh, this is nice, but maybe not, or maybe I'll think about it. Because if you criticize the product, then you're kind of criticizing the guy who's selling it. It's like, dude, you don't even know what you're selling. You don't know what you're doing as a seller. So try not to make him lose face, and try to sell yourself and try to sell your country as well when you're actually buying the stuff. And then don't be afraid to walk away and go somewhere else. If he's not going to give you a good deal, or he's not willing to work with what you've got, then go on and find somebody else. There's lots of people selling the same stuff in Bali or in Jogja, and do what ultimately is going to be best for you, because it is your trip. But try to do something to help the locals as well. All right, so this next part, a little bit more shopping, and we're going to get more realistic. So, ayo jalan-jalan di Bali, okay? So, we have the word asli, and it can be used as a noun or an adjective. And asli means the origin of something or original. So this is a really good word to know when you are shopping. Asli. And a lot of stuff that you see, in Bali especially, it's designer, tidak asli. Itu tidak asli. So if you're in a market and you see something and it's Birkenstocks or a Coach bag or an LV bag, always ask if that's what you're looking for, one of the real things. Ini asli? Is this authentic? Is this original? And a lot of times if you're in a market, the local's gonna laugh and go, no, it's not. And it's pretty obvious. But some places it can be harder to tell. The fakes are sometimes really good and they're harder to spot. So, asli ini di atau asli ini dari mana is another good phrase. You can say, where was this made, or where was this brought from? So, ini asli dari Indonesia, ini asli dari China, is it from China? Dari Japan, from Japan. Dari Bandung, from Yogyakarta, from the place. So all of these are perfectly good questions to ask. So now we're here in Bali, and we're going to take this on the next slide. All right, so here's Bali street view. We're walking around in Bali. There's a money changer over there. Remember, if you're exchanging money in Indonesia, you're better off going to a bank if you can. If you go to a place like this, make sure you get an actual official receipt, and make sure you count the money before you leave, because some places will rip you off, and it can be big and it can ruin your day. Okay, so you're walking down the street in Bali and you see something that you want to buy. Mabili ini. So boom, you're walking up there, see a nice cool kind of tapestry with Buddha on it. Now you need to ask the shopkeeper how much it costs. So here he is, right here. This guy, Bapak, sitting around. And then don't forget to greet him as well. So when you ask somebody how much something costs, you just show up and say, how much is this? It's a little bit rude. You should always greet him first, depending on the time of day. And since it's about 1 o'clock, which greeting should you use? Which greeting? Selamat siang, right? Selamat siang, Pak. Harga berapa, Buddha? You can just say that, or harga berapa itu, harga berapa ini, and he'll know exactly what you're talking about. Selamat siang. And then that right there, just that greeting greases so much of the relationship, because you want to have a relationship, you want to talk to this guy. You're not interested just in the transaction, you're interested in having a conversation with him. And that's really what Indonesian culture is about. So, harga ini, wah, 150,000. So it's about $9 US. Now remember, the first price that they give you is always going to be more expensive than normal. They're always going to try to overcharge you. So now you have to work with him. Tell him first that it's expensive. So how do you say expensive in Indonesian? How do you say expensive? You remember? So think of the building in India. It's white and it's very, very nice, and it looks very, very pretty, and it's in a lot of photos. Just get rid of that first word, taj. Itu mahal, pak, means it is very expensive. It is a lot. Ya, mahal, tapi kualitas bagus. Kualitas bagus. And this is usually what they'll say. Kualitas bagus. It's good quality. It's really good quality. So now, okay. Now you need to offer him a little bit less. So start with 100,000 rupiah. So, bagaimana 100,000? How about 100,000? 150,000 saja itu pas. Remember, pas is fixed. He's like, I'm not gonna budge. 150,000 is it. It's what you're gonna pay. And tell him that you can't. So remember, we learned this word earlier. You cannot. You can't do this. Or you're not allowed to, but you can't is probably better. Okay, tidak bisa. Saya tidak bisa, Pak. Atau saya tidak mau. Either one of those is okay. Okay, hati-hati di jalan. Generally, they are very, very nice. They're very kind and polite. You're not interested, just smile and keep walking, and everything's totally good. Okay, smile and walk away, and zip, off you go. Before you go, though, always say terima kasih. Very, very good. All right, so now we've walked a little bit farther. We're still in Legian, and we're walking around. And right up the road, there's another shop. And the shopkeeper sees you as you walk up. Generally, they'll kind of be around. They might be sitting in the shop, kind of hanging out with a fan or playing on their phone or doing something like that. Halo, miss. Mau beli apa? Mau beli apa? And then ask her if she has any ole ole. Ole ole, remember? And then just ask whether they exist. This is the key word, exist. So question word, are there or is there ole ole? How would you say that? Apakah ada ole ole? Apakah ada ole ole? Do you sell ole ole here? Ole ole mana? And remember, ole ole can be anything, any kind of a souvenir. So she's like, what kind of souvenir do you want? What kind of souvenir are you interested in? You're looking for a magnet. Okay, a magnet. So how would you say a magnet? It's the same word, so you can just say that, or you can say any one of these three. So mau beli magnet. Remember, mau is want, beli, buy, magnet, want to buy a magnet. Apakah ada magnet? This is more polite. Question, do you have magnets? Or minta beli magnet, like I would like to buy a magnet. All of them are perfectly fine. Okay, sadly she does not have a magnet. Too bad. Maaf. So what's she going to say? No magnet here, but we can finish the sentence for her, right? What would we say? We would say, maaf, tidak ada magnet. But you can ask her about the jerseys. So we got all these jerseys hanging up. They might be good ole ole, right? We want to ask her if they're original. They're original jerseys. Or are they the real things that you get if you go to a sports store or to a club shop? Remember, the word for jersey is the same as a t-shirt. So if you aren't sure, you can go back, or you can just say jersey and they will understand. But what would you say in Bahasa Indonesia? So, kaos ini asli. Kaos ini asli. Or you could say, apakah kaos ini asli? Ini kaos asli. Apakah ini asli? Any one of these. And it's better to use apakah in front, but if you just say ini asli, ini kaos asli, kaos ini asli, all of those are perfectly fine too. They'll understand. Oh no, malu malu, and she's maybe embarrassed. So probably not. just keep going. All right, and then we're a little bit farther up the road, and look, we found some magnets. Woohoo! What else does this shop have? What else is there in Bahasa Indonesia? What are some other things that you see over here in Bahasa Indonesia? And even this thing too. Any ideas? So you got topi, you got sandal, you've got kaos, t-shirt. Kaki is foot, so shirt for foot is a sock, and tas is a bag. So lots of souvenirs, right? And there's a kartu SIM kiosk as well. Cool. Boom. So you can buy kartu SIM. So, Telkomsel SIM card. You're walking around Bali. This guy's selling them. Let's imagine now you need a SIM card. So, first thing, always remember your greeting. Selamat siang, selamat siang. And then, how would you say you want to buy a SIM card in Indonesian? How would you say that? You want to buy a SIM. You can say, Pak, saya mau beli kartu SIM, atau boleh saya beli kartu SIM Pak, atau Pak, bisakah saya beli kartu SIM? All of these are okay. All of them are okay. Just mau beli kartu SIM, cukup. It's fine. They'll be happy you're speaking Bahasa Indonesia and you're trying. Bisa Bahasa Indonesia? He's shocked. Totally shocked. So now try to answer his question. Bisakah kamu berbicara Bahasa Indonesia? Bisa? Bisakah? Yeah, bisa. Bisa sedikit. You can also say lumayan saja, which is most natural. It's like, yeah, a little bit, like not very good. And then tidak pak, which is just no, I can't. And if you say any of them in Bahasa Indonesia, they'll smile and they'll be really happy. And you might get a discount. Probably not here because these are all posted, but if you go to a smaller shop, it might hook you up a little bit. Okay. Bahasa Indonesiamu mantap. Mantap is excellent, great. Bagus. Dia sedang makan siang, kembali nanti. So dia, he, guy who's working here, sedang, now, makan siang, kembali nanti. Nanti, remember, is later. Kembali, return. So he'll be back later. Okay, baik. And now, he's gonna want to have a chat with you. This guy is gonna be super happy. He's gonna want to have a small, short chat with you. And this is your chance when you're on vacation to have a real impact on this guy's life, because he's probably seen tourists walk by and he's never ever had a chance to talk to them in Indonesian. So, dari mana? He's super happy. Dari mana? Now, it's a classic, that question, dari mana. You know exactly how to answer it. So, dari mana, what are you going to say? You can say, dari Inggris, dari Australia, dari Jerman, dari Amerika, dari China, dari Arab Saudi, wherever you're from. Or you can say, dari pasar, you can say, dari cafe, or you can just say, jalan-jalan, just I'm out for a walk, walking around. Oh, bagus. Oh, excellent, great. Now, flip the question back to him, and then you can ask him the other classic question. So ask him something. First question, or one of the first questions you learned in this course, way back in one of the first modules. Pak, apa kabar? Dari mana? Pak, dari mana? Apa kabar? Either order is fine. Okay. Kabar baik dari Jawa. So, ia dari Jawa. He's from Java. So, Javanese. Sudah ke Jawa? Belum? So, most people will ask you. If you can talk to them and they say, I'm from Bandung, or I'm from Jawa, or I'm from Kupang, or I'm from Jakarta, or I'm from somewhere. Have you been there? Have you not been there? Sudah kesana? Belum? Not yet, but you do plan to go. So, I have not gone yet, not yet, but plan to go, or but want to go, but will go. All of those are perfectly fine. Just that context of showing, yes, there's this intention to go. Belum, saya mau ke Jawa. Okay, saya mau ke Jawa. I will go at some point. I want to go. Oh yeah? He's really excited. Selamat jalan, super happy. Somebody wants to go and see where he's from in Java, not just go to Bali. Now, you can say thank you to him in Javanese. Remember, we learned that earlier. Try to talk to him in Javanese and say thank you. Just change one letter. That's it. One letter in each word. Super easy. It's incredible the amount of impact this has on locals. So you can say terima kasih Pak or matur nuwun Pak. Either one is fine. Wah, bisa bahasa Jawa. And you've just made a new friend. Or you can say sami-sami as well. Either one. And boom, you're done. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to go into a little bit more grammar. We're going to learn a word yang, and we're going to buy a SIM card, okay? This is probably the most useful and helpful lesson in the whole entire module, buying a SIM card, okay? So you're going to learn two new adverbs. You're going to learn lebih and kurang in the next unit, but we're just going to introduce them right now. Lebih means more. Kurang means less. So lebih, more, kurang, less. Okay, they're both adverbs. And ter plus an adjective is the best. And you'll see exactly what that means in a second. Hold on. So in Indonesian, adjectives do not have an ending like or est to show more or the most like we do in English. We do not add something on adjectives in Indonesian. You add lebih before, and then you can add ter, T-E-R, ter, before the adjective to show it's the best. So bagus, good, lebih, bagus. Lebih means more good, better. Terbagus, the best. Okay. And then, for example, murah, cheap. Lebih murah, termurah, the cheapest. And then remember, with your R's, really try to roll those. Termurah. And if you can't get it perfectly, it's totally fine. They'll understand exactly what you're saying. For mahal, lebih mahal, termahal. That's it. And then now we're going to dive into yang, this word yang. So yang is the word that you use to make what's called a relative clause. I'm not going to get into the grammar. This is not a grammar class, but it shows something which is or that is, and it shows more information about a noun. So to be generally is not used in Indonesian. You can, but not in everyday conversation. And yang is used with adjectives and nouns to describe which one, or the noun that is something. So here's an example. Yang murah. Yang is like saying the one. Murah is cheap. The cheap one. The cheap one. The cheap thing. Mau yang murah. I want the cheap one. I want the cheap thing. Okay? Saya mau yang murah. I want the cheap one. Yang termurah is the cheapest. Saya mau yang termurah. I want the cheapest one. Yang mahal, the expensive one. And yang termahal, the most expensive one. Okay? So, yang, you can use this when you're shopping too. Yang ini. This one, this particular one. Saya mau yang ini. Atau, or yang itu, that one. So you can use it to really show emphasis about which particular noun that you're talking about. All right, so here's an example. Tourist Dave shows up. Saya mau beli kartu SIM. Okay, saya mau beli kartu SIM. And yeah, cat doesn't care. I'm too lazy to care. Okay, fair enough. Ask someone else. Ngarti. Selamat tidur. So a different person. Saya mau beli kartu SIM. Hello, this guy. Again. Come to my shop. Come to my shop. I have a SIM card for you. So, this guy right here who's selling SIM cards on the street. Okay. Mau SIM asli? Yang asli terbaik. So this is an advertisement right here. And the advertisement, I just made this up. She's going, do you want a real SIM? Do you want a regular SIM? Because the regular SIM, the original SIM, is the best. The original one. So not one from some guy on the street, one from a real Telkomsel shop. So, ada paket ini. So this is the actual real Telkomsel shop price. And if you go on the street, this is the price. So you buy it from a shop, harga ini 180,000. On the street, 200,000. Okay? So you're buying a SIM card from some guy on the street, 200,000. Buy it from the shop, 180,000 for 18 gigs. Okay, here are the prices up closer so you can see better. So ini di jalan, ini yang kartu SIM asli. So harga di jalan lebih mahal. Ini lebih mahal. Okay, guy on the street, lebih mahal. Yang asli, harga asli lebih murah. Lebih murah. Bagus. So, mau beli yang lebih murah? Somebody's asking you. Mau beli yang lebih murah atau lebih mahal? Yang mana? Yang kartu SIM mana? Yang ini, yang murah lebih bagus. Yang asli lebih bagus. Because these on the street, it is a SIM card, but you have no idea generally who you're buying it from. He might help you set it up, he might not. And also, you're going to pay a lot more money for that SIM card. So this is an extra 20,000 right here. This one doesn't even exist. This one has tethering right here and hotspot. The hotspot is awesome. Sometimes Wi-Fi in Indonesia will not work very well. So I highly recommend you get a SIM card with a hotspot. If you get one on the street, generally you will not, or they will not help you set it up. Buy it from a shop, they will. Okay. So, mau beli paket apa? Mau beli paket apa? Paket. So the word for paket is one of these packs. All right? Let's say you want the cheapest packet, yang cheapest. So how would you say that? The cheapest. Remember, here's our word bank right here. Trrr, and then you add these. So saya mau beli termurah, the cheapest, yang termurah. How much is it? Yang termurah. Harga berapa itu? And if you can do this and see these prices in Indonesian, you can just say the numbers. your Indonesian is getting very, very good and you're getting very close to being fluent and being able to be independent and travel by yourself. Okay, how much is it? Yang termurah. 180.000 rupiah. Okay, 180.000 rupiah. Say you want the most expensive one. The most expensive. Most expensive, termahal. Okay. Harga berapa yang termahal? How much is that? And remember, over here, better remember, Indonesia sometimes does not use commas, they use the decimal point, like in Europe. 1 juta rupiah. 1 juta. So itu mahal. It's about $60. $63, $64, something like that. Okay. Let's say now you want the cheapest and you want to use a hotspot. So we have to use yang in this answer. The cheapest is what? So the cheapest, we have to use ter plus the cheapest, murah, termurah, with a hotspot. Dengan hotspot atau termurah yang pakai hotspot is also okay. So, saya mau beli termurah, saya mau pakai hotspot, saya mau beli termurah yang bisa pakai hotspot, saya mau beli yang 51 GB, so that's also okay. So, if you don't remember the words, but you can just remember the numbers, you can just say, oh, yang ini, and point to it. Yang 51 GB. Itu cukup. It's enough. All right, so now we're going to put all of this together with shopping. Okay, whole entire lesson. All together. So now we are in Jakarta. We are in Pasar Kota Tua. So Pasar Kota Tua di Jakarta. And if you walk around here, there's a lot of stuff for sale. You can get jam tangan, mungkin tidak asli. I don't know, I've never looked closely at them. You can get some other cool stuff too, right? So, kamu bisa beli aksesori mana, aksesori yang mana di pasar? What accessories can you buy di pasar? Bisa beli aksesori mana? Kacamata hitam, topi, kacamata biasa, jam tangan, ada banyak, ya. Banyak aksesori. Okay. So we're back here again to this guy from Bandung. And as you're walking through the market, you see a cool pair of celana pendek. Celana pendek. So let's see how much they are. What is the celana pendek? Celana pendek. So it's kind of your test. Celana pendek. Boom. All of these. So there's celana pendek, and there's kacamata hitam, right? So he's selling two main products. Kacamata hitam over here, sunglasses. Celana pendek right here. Shorts. Now let's start this conversation with this guy. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning. What are we going to say? Selamat pagi, Pak. Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Now we need to ask him how much these shorts cost. How much are these shorts? Pak, harga berapa celana pendek? Or you can just say harga berapa ini and point to the shorts. If you don't remember the word celana pendek, harga berapa ini. That's perfectly fine too. Oh, ada obral 15,000. Obral 15,000. So you're going to hear and see words sometimes that you don't understand. And don't worry about it, because the most important part of the sentence you do understand. 15,000. Okay, 15,000 is the price. Obral means a sale. So ada obral means there is a sale, or I have a sale going on. 15,000. What's the price in English? 15,000. 15,000 rupiah, right? So boom, right here. Obral, 15,000. So he's selling it for very, very cheap. Wow. How would you describe this, right? So is it mahal, atau, or murah? How would you describe this? Murah ya. Wah, murah pak. Murah sekali. Ya, itu harga apa? Itu harga bule, itu harga teman, itu harga pas, itu bagaimana harga itu mungkin? What do you think? Itu harga teman ya. Harga teman. Mister, mau warna apa? Mau warna apa? So you want the black, red, and white shorts. Black, red, and white. So how would you say that? The colors, you can put them in any order, does not matter. But you have to put the noun first. So how would you say that? Saya mau beli celana pendek putih, merah, dan hitam. So celana pendek, remember, shorts, putih, white, merah, red, hitam, black. Okay, ada satu ukuran besar, ekstrim. Ukuran besar, ekstrim. Remember, ukuran means size. Besar means big. And extreme, you can probably guess what that means. Suka makan, mungkin bisa pakai ini tahun besok. So itu it's a joke. Suka makan karena itu ukuran ekstrim, mungkin bisa pakai ini tahun besok. Okay. Bagaimana ukuran celana pendek ini? Itu ukuran pas atau tidak pas? Mungkin tidak pas ya. Kalau orang besar, itu pas. Tapi kalau seperti aku, orang kecil, itu tidak pas. Now you've got to tell him the bad news. They're probably not going to fit. You can't eat all that food to fit into them by next year. Okay. So, celana pendek ini kebesaran, you can say that. Atau celana pendek ini tidak pas. Atau celana ini besar. All of them. So, as long as you say something like ini besar, ini tidak pas, that's perfectly fine. Kebesaran means it's way too big. And this is kind of a word that Indonesians would use, and it's more natural, but don't worry about it. Okay. Oh yeah. Bagaimana celana pendek hijau? Yang hijau. Okay. So which ones are hijau? Celana pendek hijau yang celana pendek yang mana? Which ones? It's this one, right? Yang ini, yang hijau. So ada di ukuran kecil, di ukuran pak, harga sama. So di ukuran me atau kamu, person who's buying, itu harga sama. Dan ukuran kecil. Ukuran kecil, harga sama. So you don't like them though. You don't like that color. So what are you going to say? Ya, saya tidak suka, saya tidak mau, saya tidak suka warna hijau, saya tidak boleh, saya mau ke pantai di Jogja. So this is more cultural right here. If you go to the beach around Yogyakarta in southern part of Java, do not wear green. The sea goddess will suck you down. So all of these are perfectly fine answers. If you say the last one, he'll probably laugh and he'll be shocked that you know that. Okay, tidak apa-apa. So now, even though they're cheap, you're not going to get them and you're not going to buy them. So what are you going to say? Okay, maaf ya Pak, saya tidak mau beli, atau maaf saya baik, saya kembali nanti. All of these are perfectly fine. Just maaf ya is perfect. That's it. Oke, tidak apa-apa. Mister, Bahasa Indonesia bagus. Dari mana? So now he's shocked. He wants to have a conversation with you. He's like, okay, no worries. You don't want to buy something. I'm just curious. Dari mana? Saya dari... So whatever country you're from. So fill that in. Dari Jepang. Okay, Japanese. Now he wants to have a chat. He's like, wow, there's a Japanese guy speaking to me in Indonesian. Very cool. Never had this happen before. Mantap. Suka makanan Indonesia? And this is always something they're going to ask. First question or second question they're going to ask you is about food. So, suka makanan Indonesia? Do you like Indonesian food? Oh yeah, suka. So you can say suka, you can say tidak suka as well. It's okay, but there's probably something that you will like when you're down there. So, di Jepang, makan apa? Nasi. So a lot of Indonesians will ask you questions, maybe that are very simple, and it's mainly because they don't have a lot of experience with your country. So a lot of people would ask me, oh, di Amerika makan apa? Makan nasi. So do you eat rice in America? A lot of people ask me that, and it's just a very normal question. They're curious. So he's probably never had food from your country if they're asking you. They don't know, they don't have the experience. So tell them about it. Get on Google Images and show them photos or show them pictures of what you like to eat. And it's a very, very good, easy conversation starter. And this guy will probably talk to you for an hour if you want to. If you have 5 minutes, cool, 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Saya makan nasi dan sushi. Right? Iya, dia dari Jepang. Oh yeah. So now this guy is gonna go for it, right? Mister, foto. So if you talk to someone in Indonesia, in Indonesian, this is a huge moment of their life. They'll probably want to have a photo with you just to prove that, oh, I met this guy who spoke Indonesian with me. So it's your call. You can go, okay, ya pak, okay, or tidak, no. Totally up to you, your call. But a lot of locals will go for it. So ya boleh, okay, tidak pak, tidak mau pak, all of these are perfectly fine. Okay, hati-hati. So you get a photo, cool. No photo, no worries. Hati-hati. Ya, pak juga, hati-hati pak. You can say sampai jumpa, or you can say, if he's from West Java like this, you can say, I'm so tired, punten, or you can say, I can't remember, I'm so tired, maaf. And you're finished. I'm tired, you're tired, well done. You have just finished buying something and doing something very, very cool in Indonesia. Selamat. Congratulations. All right, so now, cultural note. Kind of brought this up a second ago with photos, but if you visit a market or you are walking around in a city, a lot of people will want to get photos with you, especially if you go to the countryside. And it can be very overwhelming. It can be very, very exhausting. So, if you don't want to get a photo with someone, if you're tired or you just don't want to get a picture, you don't like getting your picture taken, because this probably will go up on the internet somewhere. They'll post it on their Instagram or they'll post it on their Facebook. So you can say, saya capek, and be sure to write these down as well. Saya capek means I'm tired. Saya tidak rasa baik, I don't feel well, I don't feel like it. And this is not a bad phrase, because if you say you don't feel well, you don't look good, then they're going to go, okay, I don't want you to be on the internet or be with my profile if you don't feel good. Like, I want you to feel good and I want myself to feel good for doing this. So most of the time they will have some respect for you. Some people won't, but just if they won't, just say no, tidak, and eventually they'll stop. Okay. You can also say, maaf, saya tidak mau foto. I don't want a photo. And that's perfectly fine. It's a little bit kind of, I guess, direct, or Indonesians would be a little bit more indirect, but it's perfectly fine, they'll understand. And if you just keep moving, if you keep walking around, then you're less likely to get stopped. So if you're at a market and you just walk through, generally people are not going to stop you. But if you stop and look at something, then people will start to come over and they'll want to talk to you. And generally you probably will get a couple of people asking you for a photo. I don't mind it. Some people might, but it's your trip and you do what you think is best. And with that, we are at Unit 4. We're done with shopping. We're done with numbers. We're moving on to Unit 4. So Unit 4 is going to be excellent, and you guys will get a lot out of it. And numbers is by far the longest, and it's one of the hardest. If you're having trouble, go back through the videos and keep practicing. Practice as much as you can on forums or with friends or ChatGPT or Google Translate, whatever, because this will make a huge impact on your trip, and you will have the best time of your life if you can speak a little bit of Indonesian while you're down there. Have a good night and take care. Sampai jumpa lagi.